I've known Tab for at least 43 years when our kids were at South Downs Elementary School together, and I began to know him as a school parent. I was attending First Baptist Church, and I spent 45 years there. But all the time, Reverend Tab was asking me, when you going to come over to a real church? I said, where is that, Don? And he says, over at the chapel, man. So every time he'd see me, he said, you ready to get religion yet? And I'd say, no, I got a little work to finish at First Baptist. And then one day, my wife Liz and I decided to go to church at the chapel. We didn't want to be conspicuous, so we sat on the last row. Didn't think Pastor Tab would see us. But lo and behold, the next 2 days later, I got a handwritten note from Don Tab saying, Willie, I saw you on the back row, and I saw your pretty wife, and I want you to know you can stay back there as long as you need to. And you know what? We're not going to have any church thermometers up front showing the giving campaign results. You can just sit back there and feel God's grace as long as you want to. That meant so much to me because I'd always been in the church where I'd been pressured to do a lot of things, and now a potential pastor says, just sit back there and feel God's grace. I have a funny story. Of course, Don Tab asked my wife to be the first teacher at the chapel school. So Liz Peters was the first teacher, and that's when we brought all our kids to the school. And they were all kind of different schools, and he helped me bring my family back together so we could talk about the same thing at the dinner table. Well, you know, he loved Liz, and the day she died, he came over because I wanted him to do the funeral. And Don Tab sat there at my kitchen table with my little dog Fritz right by his side, and he just petted that dog. You know, he's an animal husbandry major. And by George, we had the best talk, and he got up. He looked at his pant leg, and there was a hole in it this big that my little dog had chewed in Don's pants. He said, Willie, that's a mighty friendly dog you got there. He's done ruined my pants. I said, Pastor, just put it on my bill for the funeral. Anyway, Don Tab buried my first wife and married me and my second wife. What else could you ask for? And I was going to ask him to send me off, but he beat me to the punch. But one day I'll see him in heaven, and I will love him and tell him how much he's meant to me. Finally, I've often talked about children with him, and he let me keep James when they went to Oxford, and I adopted a second son. Phenomenal experience. He became a brother to my son Paul, and we just loved each other beyond compare. What an opportunity to entrust your son with another couple for 6 months like that. And I think he probably came out okay after that time with us. Don and the Tabs, we love you. I can't express it. I have been broken, but when I met with y'all this last weekend at your house, I came out ready to run a marathon because you are truly agents for Jesus Christ, left here on earth while Don basked in the glory of his rewards in heaven. God bless all of y'all. I think Don was just one who would never turn you down for a good conversation. And he usually came up to me at a restaurant, sat down by me on the bench or at the table, saw me in a crowd somewhere like a game or something, and he'd try and do some broken Cajun and say, Willie, how you are? And that was a tabism to me because if he didn't ask me how I was, I knew something was wrong with him. And you probably didn't know that I referred to him whenever I saw him as Padre. And I'd always go, "Hello, Padre, how are you?" And he'd say, "Okay, Willie, cut that out. Let's get down to talking." So, that's my metabolism.